has the power to continue the investigation, but at that point decided to stop. It goes on to say it is difficult to find any tangible basis for the claim of political interference in the performance of your functions from 20th October 2020 to 1st November 2020. The President's meeting with you and the request for you to give the public officers a hearing cannot sincerely or properly give rise to such an allegation.
Now, Winston, at this point, things get very interesting in this letter, because the next heading under which the remaining points are made is alleged operational difficulties encountered by the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
We'll get to the alleged operational difficulties encountered by the Special Prosecutor shortly, but you know that normally around this time we'll bring you our inspirational song brought to us by Duraplast, where Duraplast goes, water flows. And EDC, with EDC, financial independence is possible. I know EDC's MD, Paul Manti, will be joining us this morning as we have a conversation on how you should be planning your retirement. But have you been looking to buy your dream home but haven't had the chance to visit any enough estate sites? Or are you wondering if the location you've been looking to move into is habitable enough? Well, here's a chance to join the First Bank Virtual Housing Fair on the 18th and 19th of November 2020. So starting today. Now, this one-stop shop fair will showcase offers from industry players such as real estate developers, land retailers, contractors, and home builders. And there will also be interactive sections on how you can easily access First National Bank's various home loan offers and other relevant banking services. The virtual housing fair is happening live on the First Bank YouTube page on the 18th and 19th of November 2020 at 11 a.m. each day. Visit the First National Bank YouTube page and click the bell icon to book your slot and stay notified. You can also reach out to First National Bank via the various social media platforms, and for further details, contact Mantibia on 0501 437848. And our Arrive Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority in collaboration with Joy News and the Multimedia Group, and supported by Toyota Ghana Company Limited. Toyota, superior quality and logistic movers. We help you relocate. So avoid all distractions, keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel, and that's how you ensure your safe arrival. But you know, Toyota Ghana Company Limited has introduced a new star for Africa called the Toyota Starlet. Now, this is a 1.4-liter engine capacity hatchback profile vehicle characterized by versatility, convenience, and elegance. To appreciate her customers, Toyota Ghana is offering a special early bird price for this model. And so in addition, customers who purchase Starlet will enjoy 1 year or 20,000 kilometers free service. It also comes with a manufacturer's warranty of 5 years or 100,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. And there's credit purchase also available through special arrangements with our finance partners. So what are you waiting for? Visit any of the branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Tamale, Takwa, or Takrady, or call 0302-910204 to enjoy these great deals. Remember, this offer is valid while stock lasts. Toyota Starlet, a star is born. Toyota Ghana Company Limited is proud to be associated with Joy FM and Joy News Drive Safe Tips on the Super Morning Show. Toyota, superior quality. But if you're thinking of the safest, hassle-free, and most secured way of relocating or transporting your goods, then look no further, because Logistics Movers is here for you with a professional and cost-effective way of moving your office and household items within and outside Accra or wherever on the planet. See, Logistics Movers has what it takes to put a smile on your face, as it is our hallmark. Contact us on 0501-277363 or 0302-918349, or email us on info@logisticsmovers.com, or visit our website www.logisticsmovers.com. Logistics Movers, we help you to relocate. Finally, you know that Say It Right is brought to us by Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited. Kingdom, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. But saying it right does not come by chance. You need to read the right books early in life. This is why Kingdom Books, your number one stop books and stationery shop with over 40 years experience, is offering you great discount on readers and other learning materials to help your kids say it right. These readers, books, and learning materials include phonics flashcards, Aesop's Fables, Oliver Twist, The Fish That Talked, Emperor and the Nightingale, Growing Up for Girls, Illustrated Classics, Junior Illustrated Grammar Punctuation, and many more. Visit any Kingdom Books and Stationery shop to get a good discount on your purchase So for further information and inquiries, please call 0501 401050 or 0244 311 955. Alright, so our newspaper review normally brought to us by CompuGhana. Shop at any CompuGhana branch nationwide and get up to 40% discount and free delivery. CompuGhana, passion for technology. And of course, all the papers have captured this story. So, Kojo and Enimwa, let's continue with the issues relating to operational challenges encountered by Mr. Martin Amidu.
Right, so at this point we're on point number 15, and the letter now starts to address the issues of logistics and finances that Mr. Amidu hinted at in his letter. Okay, and it says in this paragraph 15, remarkably, your letter of resignation alludes to the consistent deprivation of finances and a financial handicap imposed on the office of the special prosecutor. You also bemoan the non-payment of the salaries of yourself and the deputy special prosecutor in a manner that suggests government's failure to do so. Yet your office has been adequately funded to pay for salaries. The impression given by you that there was a deliberate intention to ensure your office didn't function is the more startling. So point 16 then starts to catalogue these payments or provisions that the government made. In 2018, 1 million Ghana cedis was released by to your office to enable it undertake setup activities. In June 2018, your office requested and was granted commencement authorization to incur capital expenditure of 2.79 million Ghana cedis. You failed to make a request for payment in respect of the related procurement.
It goes on to say in 2019, your office submitted a budget proposal of 360 million Ghana cedis, out of which 180 million was approved and appropriated for the office. This amount was higher than the budget of some ministries in the current government and was made up of 33 million for compensation of employees, 88 million for goods and services, and 58 million for capital expenditure. Although your office did not apply for release of funds in 2019, the Ministry of Finance released 65 million cedis and transferred it into the bank account of your office for your operations. Only a little of over 5 million Ghana cedis had been utilized by you as head of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. In accordance with administrative practices, the unutilized amount of over 60 million Ghana cedis should have been returned to the consolidated fund, as happens to all ministries, departments and agencies which do not utilize their budgets. However, in the case of your office, the Ministry of Finance rolled over the excess amount of over 60 million to the following year to be utilized by it. Yet the funds still remain in the bank account of the office as at 12 November 2020. So in other words, there's money in the account still, which hasn't been used.
Now, the interesting thing is that the government says that they actually released this money even though the special prosecutor never requested it. You know the procedure. Yeah. When money is allocated to your office, you must actually request it before it is released. They say that in his case, they bent over backwards, according to this letter, and released it even without him requesting. They gave 65.6 million into his account and he never accessed it. Now, it continues.
Still 60 million as of 12 November 2020.
So he accessed about 5 million.
5 million, yes.
All right. So in point 18, it says, in 2020, the approved budget for your office was 188 million Ghana cedis, out of which 39.3 million has so far been released, consisting of 36.2 million for compensation of employees. Curiously, your office has not accessed the amount on GIFMIS, the government's payment platform. Your office has so far spent only 308,751 Ghana cedis on compensation of employees. Taking account of the amount that was rolled over from the year 2019, the account of the Office of the Special Prosecutor at Bank of Ghana as at 12 November 2020 shows a balance of 60.47 million Ghana cedis.
And could you hold on a minute there? Because here, some allegations are being made. Let's do a critical analysis of this. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor the Finance Ministry released an amount of 65.69 million in 2019, out of which 5.22 million was spent, meaning that an amount of 60 million was outstanding, which normally, per financial practices, should have been returned into the consolidated fund.
That's right.
That was not done and rolled over. Then in 2020, according to this response, there was an allocation of 188 million, but 39 million has so far been released. Now, the 39 million that has so far been released, if you add that to the 60 million, you're looking at 99 million. And he says that out of which they so far spent an amount of 308,000. But taking into account account of the amount that was rolled over from the year 2019, the account of the Office of the Special Prosecutor at the Bank of Ghana is now 60 million. So what happened to the 30 million that was spent?
There's actually an explanation for that. Because they say here that the budget was 188 million, 39.3 million was released. But it also says that out of that money released, curiously, the office has not accessed the amount on GIFMIS. So the money is released. That means you can access it. You can go onto GIFMIS and take it. But the office has not taken it. So all they have is the money that was put in their account last year.
Previous year.
You understand? So this 39 million that was released never went into their account because the office hasn't even accessed it on GIFMIS.
So you see, when I release monies into your account, when I released money to you, you can then access the money.
Yes.
But watch this critically, and we'll get back to you. We'll continue. 308,000 has been spent. As of 2019 November, okay? As of 2019 November, you had what? 60.47. As of 2020, you still have 60.47. And yet you have spent 308,000.
So there is a discrepancy there.
Thank you. So when you release funds, it gets into your account. But what a GIFMIS does is to enable tracking of the expenditure. And in fact, if you look at the law critically, if you don't resort to GIFMIS, you are engaged in illegality.
Right.
You should resort to GIFMIS for all expenditure, and whoever assessed it will be known. So we are able to track expenditure, and thus we'll be able to say, okay, so this is how much you spent. We'll come back to this.
Right.
We'll come back to this because then it raises a few questions that we need.
There's a bit of accounting that needs to be done here.
We'll not do a lot of the technicalities here, but we'll come back to it and interrogate it further.
Okay, so let's move on. We're at point 19. The compensation budget for the Office of Special Prosecutor in 2019 was not utilized because your office was not able to recruit relevant staff by the end of the year. In 2019, financial clearance was given to your office to recruit 249 staff. As at the end of the year, the staff had not been recruited. The failure of your office to recruit personnel cannot be laid at the doorstep of government. It is imperative to state that your office, duly established as a procurement entity by law, is clothed with the full capacity to engage in procurement of goods, works, and services. Prior to the grant of procurement entity status to your office, you publicly attributed your failure to recruit and engage in proper procurement of goods, works, and services to the failure of the Public Procurement Authority to consider and grant your application. The PPA has since granted your application, but no recruitment has been done. Whilst having the liberty to freely express yourself, it is most unfair of you to misrepresent the nature and degree of support accorded to your office by the government when the records suggest otherwise. As already demonstrated, sufficient budgetary allocation and release of funds for recruitment of staff by your office had been made by government. Your office's failure to utilize allocated funds, even though it claimed an urgent need to, is not a question that can be answered by anyone else in government.
Now, Winston, there were some complaints made by Mr. Amidu in his communications around his resignation about the fact that he was forced to work with seconded officers, two of whom he actually accused of being corrupt regarding the PPA case. Now, this next paragraph is interesting, okay, because in spite of everything that has been catalogued so far, according to the Executive Secretary to the President, the Ministry of Finance subsequently reissued the clearance to recruit staff in the year 2020. You, Amidu in this case, insisted on being allowed to manage the payroll of your office because of confidentiality and independence. The Controller and Accountant General was given approval to make monthly releases to your office based on its request for funds for payment of salaries for all staff. Information available to the Office of the President indicates that only 2 persons were recruited by your office, and that the rest of the staff at the office are on secondment from the Ministry of Interior and the Controller and Accountant General's Department. So the thing that Mr. Amidu is complaining about, that he's forced to work with seconded officers whose loyalty he cannot rely on, according to the Executive Secretary to the President, well, you said you will recruit people. You've only recruited 2.
249 people. Actually, there was enough allocation made for 249.
And clearance was given.
Exactly.
2 years in a row.
We'll get back, but it's interesting. I mean, we'll get to that. But let me also say that we've been joined by Joseph Akable. We're going through the Office of the President's response to Mr. Martin Amidu, and the response, titled "Dear Mr. Amidu," and you will see everything in there. But Online News Review is brought to us by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goel, good energy. But talking about Goel now. Going cashless has never been this convenient and exciting, and so Goel e-payment system is now compatible with the GH Link. That's the national payment platform. So now you can use your GH Link card on Goel POS machine to purchase fuel. GH Link card offers additional payment option for fuel purchases at Goel stations in addition to the Go card. And the good thing, every fuel purchased is recorded automatically on your monthly bank statement, helping cardholders track and manage their expenses. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, use your GH Link card to buy fuel and all lubricants from any of Goel's over 400 stations across Ghana. Go cashless and protect yourself and stick to all COVID-19 protocols in these times. Goel, good energy. Goel, Yenara Yenzi. But you can explore a new world of cashless payment with Zenith Bank. Want to know how? Okay, let me tell you. Just dial *966*3#. *966*3# and follow the prompts to pay for purchases made at any merchant store displaying the GHQR code. With the GHQR code, payments made are free, easy, and secure. Just dial *966*3# and pay the easy way. Think payment, think Zenith. Zenith Bank, delivering customer-centric banking in your best interest. Right, so let's continue.
Okay, Kojo.
Now you take the next one, I think.
All right, so we're at point 21, and it says it is instructive that with regard to capital expenditure, no request has ever been received by government from the Office of the Special Prosecutor. It's quite apparent that, contrary to the impression you regularly create in public, your office was solely responsible for the failure to recruit. The government made the necessary budgetary allocation and followed up with actual release of funds your office failed to utilize same, even though it had full capacity as a procurement entity to procure goods, works, and services.
Now, Mr. Amidu is a stickler for certain things. He's a stickler for accountability, right? Yeah. He's also a stickler for independence. But listen to point 22. It must be stated that from the time the Office of Special Prosecutor was established to date, the Office of the President has been making payments for sundry expenses such as utility bills, waste management bills, and servicing of air conditioners, etc., even when money has been released to the Office of the Special Prosecutor from its approved budget. So, that certainly brings another perspective to the discussion about independence, for example. Yeah. If the office has been allowing its bills, utility bills and maintenance bills, to be paid by the presidency, yet it insists on independence when it has money or has been allocated money to take care of these things.
Talking about the independence, because I know that when Mr. Martin Amidu first wrote about his non-payment of salaries and everything, Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Enusaf Husseini, said when they met Office of the Special Prosecutor, they saw their office as part of the President's budget. And when they questioned, they said that, for the first year, the presidency was actually making payments to the office. because, of the gift miss challenges and all of that. Normally without gift miss, you can't spend. It's a problem without, gift miss, you can't spend. And so, one or two issues.
We're 3 years down the line now.
One or two issues. We need some more reactions. Maybe it would be important to hear from Martin when he decides to speak. But what else does the report say?
It gets interesting now, Winston, because now we're talking about housing and accommodation of his offices. So, point 23, you sought to blame the housing of the Office of Special Prosecutor in a 3-bedroom and boys' quarters accommodation on the government. Once again, the facts do not bear out your assertions and insinuations. It is evidence that responsibility for this situation can be attributable only to your good self. Your office rejected various allocations of suitable accommodation with the result that you remained at your present accommodation by choice and not some grant designed by government to ensure your office didn't function as it should. So this is where it starts. On 17 September 2018, a meeting was held at the Office of the Chief of Staff, at which you were present to explore means of addressing the urgent challenges of the Office of Special Prosecutor, one of which undoubtedly was accommodation. A committee was set up to identify a building suitable for housing the office. The committee set out immediately to embark on the search for accommodation for the office. On 18 September 2018, a cluster of buildings consisting of 1 2-story building and 2 single-story buildings were identified opposite the Bank Hospital at Cantonment, Accra.
Anyway, hold on that because we need to go for the BBC News. When we return, we will go through all the correspondence.
All the different buildings and houses.
In relation to accommodation for the Office of the Special Prosecutor, because in this response, the Office of the President seeks to show that indeed it wasn't their fault and that at any instance where they made an offer to Mr. Martin Amido on his accommodation, he rejected it.
Actually, he made requests and then changed his mind, according to the document.
Exactly. Well, it's now time for the BBC News brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. But first, these messages.
Akosia, I'm awful. I have to go and deposit today's sales and buy some things before I get home.
Okay, but deposit money at this time. It's past 6 p.m. Which bank is still open?
My daily sales always goes to Stanbic Bank no matter when I close.
Hey.
Even without my debit card, I can still deposit my money at a Stanbic ATM anytime. Stanbic literally follows me everywhere.
Hey, wow. That's good, though. Me, when I close late, I have to carry the cash on me home with all the risk.
Hey.
Sometimes even when I hear mosquitoes making noise in my ears, I itch my heart. I wake up to see if the money is still there.
Don't make me laugh.
I said that you are laughing. I'm serious, laugh.
Imagine all the 1001 ways you can bank safely without leaving your home or office. If you need any help, send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at Stanbic Bank GH. Stanbic Bank. It can be.
Hey, bro, I feel your ride. It's so smooth. This vehicle runs on Gold Super XP